Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Beaky here with TheUntitledGamShow.com, and I'm here in Destiny along with Supreme Raw and
What's up?
hey. All right, guys. So I'm gonna call you boy because I'm gonna mess up your name. I'm gonna say it right now, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so this is going to be a Destiny community review presented by the Untitled Game Show. So I've gotten some of my community members from the Untitled Game Show together, and we're going to talk about Destiny. While we do this, I'm going to be actually going over a little match in Destiny right now. I'm going to play some salvage and see how I do during this match live as we talk about this. So the first thing before we talk about our overall opinion of the game, I want to get some baseline opinions down first. Let's talk about the graphics of the game. What do you guys think about how the game actually looks?
Uh,
Uh, okay. Okay. I guess
Supreme
I'll start
first.
off.
Supreme first.
Okay. The graphics are really good. I
Mm-hmm.
love the environments. I love what Bungie has done with like the art. Like the vault of glass looks cool. All the maps they look amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just like the overall feel of like the environments in the game. I mean, I feel like they did a great job of making the planets look like believable.
All right, you. What do you think about the graphics?
the graphics they seem pretty well. Bungie has done a great job doing it. Destiny. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
played the beta version. The beta version was pretty good. Everything, all the graphics, everything well, neat, and pretty good.
All right, so I gotta agree. I think the game's graphics look really well. Right now, I'm doing a little load into space right now, where the loading screen with the ship flying around, and I gotta admit, this is one of the best loading screens ever in a video game. I mean, it's top up there with the Metal Gear Solid loading screens, or the Devil May Cry, or the Assassin's Creed loading screens. They look really nice. So graphics-wise, Destiny's a beautiful game. So we don't gotta argue about how the game looks. So let's move on to the music. What do you guys think about the music in the game? You first
Uh,
this time?
Okay, yeah. Music is really good. I really like how there's dynamic music in the game. Like,
Yeah.
if you're running away from enemies or like you're fighting a wave, there's like really good dramatic music. And like when you finish off a wave, it gives you like that nice climatic ending that like
Mm-hmm.
just finishes it off. Yeah, I really like the music in this game. The music that you hear in space when you're out in orbit and you're just with your fire team not doing anything. I like the music there, and yeah, it really has good music too.
You guys, so you both agree with that? It's good music, right? Because I definitely
Yeah,
think the music. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Also, as well, it kind of has like that Borderlands 2 kind of feel. Like when you're not engaging, when it has like a calm, peaceful type. When you're like engaging some enemies, like it goes like all like mayhem.
Yeah, I really do think that the music is one of the best parts about this game. I do agree, like this game deserves a soundtrack. I would listen to this music over and over. I do actually think the music is excellent. So that aspect of the game is actually pretty good. Now we're gonna just talk about the core gameplay before we get to what you do in the game. Core feeling of the shooting, the core feeling of actually how you interact with the game. You're like your abilities, all that stuff. What do you guys think about that?
Okay, the core shooting mechanic and the core just gunplay and gameplay feels really fun. It's very fluid. Like you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to like yeah, like you don't have to stop. Like it's very like it's kind of like Call of Duty. Call of Duty and Halo kind of mix into one, and it feels really fun. Like shooting a gun, like any gun that you get, it doesn't really change, but that's not a bad thing. It could be good and bad, but I really like the feel of the guns and how fluid the gunplay is.
All right, you.
Yeah, the gunplay very good. Mechanics are good. It has great ammo count. And also when you like level up, you get to put on like extra attachments to these guns, which can really help out the gameplay.
All right, so before we go into what everybody probably really wants to think about the actual like how we actually game mode is, how we actually play through the game. Let me ask one more question. How much have you guys played the game? Let me go first on this time, guys. I've actually probably put in about 40 hours into the game. I would need to bring up the app real quick to check, but I put a quite decent amount of time into this game. I've played through two characters. I've beaten the story mode, and I played the game on a fairly constant basis with my friends. But I mostly only play the Crucible. Most of my time in the game has been spent playing the Crucible. How about you guys? How much time have you actually put in this game before you guys can say that you actually have enough experience to be able to say your opinion and review the game in a way?
I'm checking the app right now. I have over 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like in one character, I have like one and something days. I've beaten the game on two different characters. I've beaten on my
Okay.
hunter and warlock, and I'm working on my titan. But yeah, it's just I spent a lot of time. I've played the Crucible and story, and I have to
Mm-hmm.
say, I the Crucible is a lot better than the story modes. Like the story is kind of just there as a backdrop. The Crucible is
Mm-hmm.
kind of my main reason why I'm still playing the game right now.
Same here. What about you?
Well, I like played up to level 10 until I got my PSP, a lost my PSP. But what I can say is, I played as a Titan, a game shared with Supreme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I have played most of it. I played most of the goddamn just the beta version. That's all I can do. I can say right now.
All right, so both of you guys have experience playing the game. For everybody in the video, I stopped playing the multiplayer. I can't really play the multiplayer and actually do this little thing at the same time. So I'm gonna play a single player mission. At least that way I can play it a little slower. All right, so you guys put some hours into the game. You've gotten a few levels in. You have the characters are good. The multiplayer is, I mean, the story's good. Sound of play is good. But what do you guys really think about what you do in the game? I mean, let me preface this right now. So Destiny as a story-based game for me, I played through the story with three other friends. So I mean, two other friends because you can't have a fire team more than literally three, which makes no sense to me. It should be four because I have
Yeah.
four friends that bought this game to play together, and we were hoping when the full game came out that we were going to be allowed to actually have a full four-player fire team. Which I understand why they did that because if with a four-player fire team, I think the match would some of these story missions would have been way too easy. I could have seen that, but they still allowed us to pick our own difficulty, so they could have bumped up the difficulty to allow a four-player fire team for the story-based missions. So you play through the story missions, you reach the level 15 or so to beat the story mission, and then you get to level 20. And once you hit level 20, guys, now you have to switch over to a new leveling system, which is a gear ranked level system. In the gear ranked level system, how it basically works for anybody who hasn't played Destiny or just don't know, you have to actually obtain gear, and each piece of gear has a number equipped with it, which is called light. Each piece of light actually levels you up to another level. So if you have equipment that gives you 18 lights, and you have like a helmet that gives you 18, a chest space that gives you 20, and an arm piece that gives you 10, and then a feet that gives you 11, let's say, all that could equal all up to like maybe level 22, level 23, and that's how you gain levels. The reason why the light levels matter, the light levels actually affect how much damage you do to enemies in the single player mode. So let's give you a good example of this, guys. So if you're doing a level 22 story mission, and in that level 22 story mission you're level 24, well, any enemy that hit you are not going to do as much damage to you because you're a higher level. And that's how it works. But if you try to fight an enemy that's level 28 and you're level 22, let's say, you're going to be suffering a great damage penalty. And that's why the light levels actually matter. And that's why the story and, I mean, the gameplay of the game could actually be difficult and why you need to actually have this light equipment. Now, with that being said, guys, I'm just going to preference this. I like the story. I mean, I like the gameplay. I like the graphics. I like the sound. But I actually kind of hate the game. Now, what do you
Yeah.
guys think about the game? Like, I'm not gonna explain that till after I hear somebody else's experience because you guys now out there on YouTube, you guys see my videos. I've explained why I don't like Destiny. You watch my other videos. What do you guys think about the game? What makes you guys play it? What makes you want to stop playing it? And what does need to be changed? And that's what I want to hear from you guys today. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Well. Okay. So
That's a lot there. I know
first
I
things,
said a lot. Yeah.
yeah. First things first. I mean, I enjoy the game. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to like the game, but honestly, the story
Mm-hmm.
you could beat it in around 3 to 4. I'm thinking 5 or 6 hours without even doing like the other side missions. The side
Yeah.
missions don't really matter. You don't really have to do anything. There is basically no story there, and yeah, the only good thing there is kind of the crucible, which still is having some kind of like overpowered and issues with the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
The light levels I think was I mean, I don't mind it, but it's starting to get really frustrating once you get to the high level 20s. And like, let's say like you have this really cool helmet that you want to keep, but this other helmet has like one more light, then you kind of need to equip that to,
Yeah.
do the most damage. And I think someone posted this. It was every single level, like if you're level 22 and an enemy is level 24, you do a 40% less damage. You do 40% less damage, and you take 40% more damage
Yeah. That's
for
what I was
every
talking about
one
before.
level down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, honestly, I think they kind of screwed up with the light thing. I don't really mind it, but I just feel like once people reach level 20, they're going to start to get frustrated with not getting, good loot. And I think that's where, it kind of just like, I kind of just started to not really enjoy the game anymore.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you collect your thoughts for my next question, just going forward real quick. So, for you haven't gotten to level 20 yet. So what do you think about the game from what you have played of it up to level
Well,
10?
Up to level 10. Well, things I hate or the things I like.
No, like hate. Just explain us like what
Oh,
you think of the
yeah.
game. This is from a game.
Things.
This is a review from a gamer's point of view. We're not here to
Okay.
tell you like how many P's are in the game or whatever that crap is. How we experience the game or what we think about the game. So explain us how you play the game, what you think about the game in your own opinion.
Well, in my opinion, when I play the game, I
Mm-hmm.
usually go with a fire team of two because it's only me and Supreme. I play as Titan. I usually
Yeah.
go in loudest proud and usually like fail.
Okay.
Yeah. The things I like about it is like when you go into those like dark, deep areas, like it kind of let your voice echoes, like how far you are from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Your voice sounds like a radio, right? The
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
thing about yeah, the only thing I hear is the fire teams, like what you said, like you could have like more people, but I don't know. The game's been out for like 3 months, I guess, but
No, it's about
we'll have to,
a month and a half. Yeah, a month and a half.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we should wait for a couple of months to see what how Bungie will react to maybe a new update, maybe give more like more space of fire teams or yeah.
All right, so let me ask you a
Oh,
question. As somebody level 10, you played through some of the story, obviously, not most of it
Yes.
yet.
Yeah.
What do you think about the story? Is the story compelling you? Is the story making you want to play the game more?
Well, the story, as I put it like that, well, the story, well, it's basically a free roam kind of. Well, I can believe like sometimes the bosses are pretty hard. Like me and Supreme had trouble going against one boss, and we had to like redo it like 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, but the story, well, it compels me to do more because I want to find out like more bosses. More. Maybe you can get more loot, more experience. But from that, the story it's okay
It's
in my
okay.
opinion.
See, I will agree with you right there. You got into level 10. You haven't beaten the game yet, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So, in right now, if I could just kind of sum up what you're saying, in your experience, the story's kind of interesting. You want to see what's going to come next. You say it's holding where's going to be the next planet, what's going to be on Mars. You want to know what's going to happen down the line, right?
Yeah.
And the problem I find with the game is that I was feeling the same exact way. When I first started playing Destiny, when I was in the earlier parts of the game, I was very interested in like, oh, what's gonna happen when I get to Mars? What's gonna happen when I get to Venus? What's gonna happen when I get to the Rift? But the unfortunate aspect, what I think me and Supreme will have realized once you get to those areas, what you're doing is not very different from what you've already done in the game, especially with the Peeker Dinklage or AKA Ghost. 90% of the
yeah.
missions in the game is you go to this area, you put out your ghost, you wait for the ghost to scan something, and three waves of enemies will come. Sometimes they don't call them waves. Sometimes you just gotta defend it so he could open hack into a door. Sometimes you gotta the most diverse thing you could do in this game. I think the most unique mission in Destiny was a mission where you're able to pick up the sword and fight with the sword. That was such a different change of
Yeah.
pace, but we never saw stuff like that again. And when I first felt that sword mission, right, on the moon, I was very compelled to be like, oh my god, this sort of thing changes up the gameplay so much and you do something so different out of pace. I can't wait till they show us more of this, but they never actually did. And unfortunately, once I got to the later part of the game, in the middle of the game, you finally get a cutscene when you meet the queen. This is not spoiler stuff, guy. You meet this queen, but that cutscene is like one of the biggest cutscenes in the game, and the other cutscene you see after that is not until the end of the game. And I don't think they explain enough in story in the game unless you had the companion app. And I know Supreme, you had some stuff to say about the companion app. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Yeah. So the companion app, like, I really appreciate Bungie and whoever wrote the Grimoire or yeah, the lore in this game. And
Mm-hmm.
because there's like throughout the game, any place that you explore, any new enemies or like any weapons that you get or any weapons that you face, they have a bunch of lore written about it. The thing is, it never really comes in effect in the game. Like they tell you all about this cool stuff, like the
Yeah.
guys on Mars called the Cabal who can like move planets and they like destroy planets like in their way. But the thing is, you never really encounter any of that in the game. Like it, you feel like when you're reading it, you feel like, oh, we're going up against this epic boss. When really, it's like facing every single other enemy in the entire game, and that's kind of where it becomes really repetitive. Like Peter Dinklage, or me and a bunch of other people call him the Dinklebot.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people
It's
call him
it's literally
that. Yeah,
What?
that's what
it's
they call
literally
him
the
online.
same.
Wow.
Yeah, the Dinkle bot, Dinklage bot. And but I mean, yeah, the gameplay is literally the same thing over and over and over again. You put down your bot, you have to fight off waves of enemies. Once that happens, you move on to the end boss. Boom, you're done. And it's not really that fun when you're like, especially during the moon mission, the Sword of Crota mission. and like you feel so awesome, and like you think like, oh, like what are they gonna do? Are we gonna have like access to different weapons and
Yeah.
like these missions are gonna be so cool? But after that one mission, it never really pops up again. And I think, and okay, now this is what I think a little bit. I'm gonna go like
Yeah, go
super
ahead, go ahead.
detailed. But
Yeah, go ahead. Do what you
okay,
need to do to explain, because some people have played Destiny, but there are still people I've told, especially on my channel, I've told people not to buy this game. So some elements, if you're looking at, let me just say this real quick, Supreme. If you're looking at Destiny right now from the outside, this game is beautiful. Like, guys, look at the moon, look at the rocks. You guys are seeing this right now on the stream. If you're watching on Twitch, if you're seeing this on YouTube, this is a beautiful game. The shooting mechanics feel good. If the shooting in this game wasn't good, nobody would play it. And that's what I'm gonna say the biggest problem with Destiny. We want to like this game. We want, right? Am I wrong about that? No,
Yeah,
right?
no.
yeah,
I
all of us want to
want,
like.
I really want to like this game. I love the shooting. I love the multiplayer. But there were some really bad choices made in this game, and I'm sure Supreme, you're gonna bring it up with what you're saying right now.
Yeah. Okay. So
Hmm.
during the Sword of Croatia mission, it was like the first mission, like on the moon, and well, it was like a couple of missions ahead, but you felt really awesome, and you felt like, oh, this is gonna be a really good game because the moon is like very early in the game, and you feel like, this is what's gonna be going on. Like, some of the missions are gonna have a lot of like diversity, but honestly, after that, here's what I think. I think Bungie wanted to add more of those sections, and they wanted to add more diversity like they do in Halo games. Like Halo
Hmm.
campaigns are never the same. And
Yeah.
you always do different things in Halo campaigns, and you always do different things in other Bungie games. But I think since Activision recently they're working with Bungie on this game. This is, I
Oh
think,
God.
their first game collaborating
Yeah,
together.
out of a three
And
games, 10-year series. So yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
and I mean, no offense, but I think Activision kind of overdid with their like money grabbing schemes. No offense, but I mean, I
Hey, it's
play
no
Call of
offense to
Duty.
you. Don't gotta say offense to me. I understand what you're saying. You're
Yeah,
basically. I think you're taking the general opinion that a lot of people are saying online. Content was removed from this game, even though it was supposed to be. Like, content had to be removed. Like, there's no way these patches and all these glitches of people finding hidden areas that are not supposed to be there or meant for DLC, unless they actually physically remove those stuff from the game because they wanted to save it for DLC or content at some later point, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's the same thing with what Capcom did. I think like 1 year back, where they had disc lock DLC, where they had the content in the game on the disc, but they just they removed it purposely so that they could release it at a later date for DLC to basically unlock something that was already in the game, but you
Hmm.
just had to pay more money for it.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of like people already found all the areas. They from a hack, people found the areas of the two DLC that's coming out, and I mean, they're going to release more DLC, and every single time they do, a lot of people are gonna buy it because they're looking for something like fresh. They're gonna look for like more diversity in Destiny because I mean, I really want to like the game. I really want to like read up on all the lore, and I really want to understand the story of the game. But I mean, when you're releasing DLC like every other 3 months just to unlock more of the game, it kind of doesn't make you want to play the game anymore.
Mhm.
And on top of that, the DLC is quite expensive, and the reason the DLC is so expensive is because it feels like that a lot of that content was supposed to be there from what we learned about people actually hacking the game or doing whatever they need to do to actually find out, hey, this content was actually on the disc, but at some point they took it out because they haven't put in the monster spawn. And another problem I personally found with this game, um, other than the fact of like, there's not enough stuff to do at the moment, is the reward system. And I think that's everybody's biggest problem with Destiny. I think
Yeah.
Destiny would be such an okay game if they just changed the world. If the loot and reward system was different, I think people wouldn't have as much problem going through the same missions over and over if the game was this. The reason you play the game is to do this. Level all three up characters to level 20 to find cool gear for those characters. Because it should be like this. I play a story mission. In that story mission, I don't have a chance of just getting no exotic items or one legendary. Because right now, if you play a story mission, which I'm playing at this moment, I have zero. Oh, all right. I have probably a 98% chance I won't find a legendary item or an exotic item while playing the story mission. But if it was that every time you played a story mission, every time you played a strike, you had a very good chance of finding something cool for your character, no matter if it was a weapon, a gun, or whatever it was, that would keep people playing and let me level up all three characters to see what the Blade Dancer was, to see what the freaking Titan class was, or everything else, just to see what those classes actually do. Um,
Yeah. I
hold on a
I
second.
mean, yeah. Oh,
Go ahead, go ahead.
I mean, I feel like that's what Borderlands did. Like, Borderlands made you keep coming back for more and more loot. Like, I wouldn't mind playing Borderlands 2 again on Ultimate
Mm-hmm.
Vault Hunter mode, or Ultimate Badass, or even Ultimate Badass Vault Hunter mode, because
What?
Mm-hmm.
it gave you like the lure of you're going to get more loot, you're gonna be more badass, and you could get it for different characters. You could try out different characters. Like, you could try it out for the assassin, for the gunzerker,
Yeah.
for the siren, and it made you keep coming back to the game for more. And I feel like Bungie tried to do that, but it also tried to be a shooter, an MMO, and a Borderlands clone at the same time,
Yeah.
and it messed up epically. And
Yeah, the weirdest thing I think about the reason why they say that there's not looting, there's not that much loot in the game in a sense, and the reason why you can't trade gun is because they want every single gun in the game to be unique. Now, give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna open up my inventory real quick and show you my gun. So here it is. I have an auto rifle. It's a legendary auto rifle. It says first do not harm. That's the little tagline that says on this auto rifle, and it says four values of no approaching vast whatever. It says some stupid shit. But literally, my point to the matter is, it's two basic lines. It's one line of paragraph about the gun, and that's supposed to be the story of this gun, and that's why we can't trade the weapons. My point to this whole entire situation, what I'm saying right now, is because your gun says some word on the gun when you read the text does not mean that that's a story about the gun. I don't have a cool story to tell about the gun that I got. You know what the story is of the gun I got? I went to the guy, gave him some strange coins, and I got a new gun. I don't have a crazy cool story. I think just literally allowing us to get more loots in a different way and being able to trade guns between each other would have added so much to the community. And to the problem is the Crucible. Now, I'm going to talk about the part of the game that I think I have the most knowledge about. I'm going to let you guys talk about the other parts. My knowledge on this game is the Crucible. I put in hours in the Crucible. I am pretty damn good at the Crucible. You guys should check out my YouTube video. When I play with my friends, when I'm playing with my friends and not just messing around, I'm pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But biggest problem with the regular Crucible control salvage, there is only 4 modes. These 4 modes are it. And the only time there's more is on the weekends and on Pacific dates. So they have an extra mode called Salvage, and sometimes they do events like called Iron Banner. But these Iron Banner events are just the same modes that you already played, just tweaked a little bit. And when they add the extra mode, which is called Salvage, it's only for 2 days out of the week, either on Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. And that's not correct. Like, if you're going to have 5 modes for this game, let all 5 modes always be there. So right there, 5 modes. On 2 of these modes, there's 2 big maps. These 2 big maps are like huge maps where there's vehicles. These are to give Halo fans the opportunity to drive vehicles. Problem with this map: one, there's only one vehicle on this map. There's 2 vehicles on this map. There's a bike vehicle and then there is a tank vehicle. The tank vehicle absolutely sucks. The bike vehicle, they only could spawn about 2 in the map, and they're on a team of 6. So literally, you hardly ever have a vehicle versus vehicle battle because only probably 2 out of the people on the team are going to be playing on vehicles. So that map being big doesn't really help because you're not going to be using vehicles as much because you could already move around pretty fast in the game because you have a jetpack. Now, let's get to the biggest problem with the Crucible multiplayer on these big maps. Is one, AFKers. People who join the match hide in the corner or use a sniper rifle for 90% of the map, don't go to the control objective, don't play as a team. They just stay there to get at least 1 to 2 kills or just spin around in a circle, put a rubber band to the controller. And the reason for this is because once the game ends, doesn't matter if you win or lose, you will get a reward. Doesn't matter if you're the last person on the team. The winning team does not guarantee a reward. The losing team does not guarantee a reward. Any person on any team, no matter how well you played, MVP or not, can get a reward. Let me say it like that: can get a reward. Even if you're 20-0 is your kill to death ratio, guys. If you got 20 kills, 0 deaths, it does not guarantee that you're gonna get a legendary. It doesn't guarantee you're gonna strange coins. Some people says it does give you a higher chance, but the chance is not enough. You could still be in first place, and the person in last place get the reward. So people will go away on the map while you're on your team and not even freaking do anything. Now, the biggest problem with this as well is on the Iron Banner event, which is a recent event that they did in Destiny. To level up in the Iron Banner event, which is weird what they actually did this, I couldn't believe it. They actually made it so if you win, that's how you get ranking. So what people would do is they would make sure that oh, there's a public event. Sorry, a public event
Mm-hmm.
just happened where the hell I'm standing. I'm gonna talk about that soon too, guys. Um, so what they would do is, if you join a public event, sorry, a multiplayer Crucible match with a player who's AFK and you realize your team's gonna lose, they would just quit the match because there's no reason to stay in a match or if your team's gonna lose or if somebody's away because you don't get any rewards, rank up in that reputation to rank up in that match. It just makes no sense. And on top of that, let's go to the other problem with the Crucibles, the cheaters. Since day one, and if you don't believe me, you're delusional. If you're a Destiny player and you don't believe this happens, you are a delusional fool and you love Destiny and you love Bungie too much in Activision. There are people out there with invisibility glitches. This happens in the Vault of Glass. There's people out there with infinite ammo, and there's people out there with unlimited health. If you don't believe me, guys, you could look up YouTube videos of proving this stuff. There's people who use lag switches. I have videos of that on my channel, so stuff like that, I don't understand how they could have put so much millions of dollars putting in making this game, and there's lag switchers, hackers with infinite ammo, and freaking people that just cheating so hard at the single player and the multiplayer in this game for a game that they really want you to play online, and they haven't been able to patch most of this stuff out weeks after the game has come out, and they don't address the cheating. They do not address cheating at all in their patches or their notes for Destiny, and I know this because the multiplayer is the one thing I like to keep a track of. And I want to love this Crucible because I love the control mode. I like salvage. Deathmatch is okay, and like I said, I am good at it. I think the core shooting in Destiny, sorry I'm talking so long, is really good. And that's what I gotta say, guys. They need to fix the freaking cheatings. They need to make the reward system better, and that will literally get me to play the game more. And the repetition for the freaking story needs to change, but I'm not here for the story. I said my piece on the story, man. I just have no. The story's bad. That's the story's content's bad. Go ahead, guys. You haven't said any much. Like, have you played any Crucible yet, man?
Oh, I forgot. Supreme, what was that match we played? That match? Was it Crucible or was it Iron Banner?
I think yeah, we played in the Crucible a lot during the beta. We played
Okay.
Shores of Time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
That
do you think about
well,
it? Would that is that
well,
like a game that keeps you playing, or that's not your thing? You're more into single player
well,
content.
I guess there were no hackers there in beta, but in beta version, you have no really no vehicle on vehicle action or or support, as you could say. Usually I see people like in like their like probably got this vehicle like camped up toward this position so I get like a killing streak, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, and also people you can use their sparrows, right? Sparrows are in the Crucible. Yeah, it's really yeah, but it's probably kind of pretty annoying because there's like maybe it's like basically like a land on land kind of battle. Why need to use like that or stuff? With all
Hmm.
that stuff and that's all I have for now.
Um.
Hmm. Go ahead,
Well.
go ahead, Supreme.
The reward system. I I'm gonna go on a. I'm not gonna go on a really long rant, but I'm gonna go on a rant really quickly because I have gotten. I did the loot cave once. The loot cave. Honestly, I don't really get the point of the loot cave, but I realize why people want to use the loot cave because,
Hmm.
I mean, the game kind of pushes you in a direction where you have to get gear, and the best way to get gear is literally to play Crucible. The thing is, you don't always get a chance of getting gear, and I remember one time, me and my friends, we were farming, and we didn't really get anything good, so we went to the Crucible. We played 3-on-3, and it was me and my other friend. So there was one guy on our team who didn't play the entire match, and he died like 2 times. So we were like,
Yeah.
okay, okay, and we lost the match. And at the end of the match, he got two rare engrams, and we got absolutely nothing. And
Nothing.
he
Oh,
was
Yes.
0-2, and
that's
and it's just like, I mean,
Why does that happen?
you yeah,
Yeah.
it's like they should do this thing where if your KD is over 1, or like you're the MVP of the match, you are going to get something. You're either going to get a rare or a legendary or even an uncommon, at least something that tells you, well,
You
oh, you
put in
did good this
effort,
match.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they just rewarded the players to do better, if you give people rewards for playing better, people will play better. It's just like that. But if you give reward for people to play poorly or not play at all, then people won't put in effort. And I've heard their justification. Destiny makers Bungie, they have said they want it so that, well, they haven't said it. The community of people who love Destiny, I should say they like it because they can play with their friends who are not good at first person shooters, and at least they can feel like they're going to get something. But your friends that don't like first person shooters and don't play these that much are probably not going to stick with Destiny. They need to focus on the players who are going to be here every day and here for the next 10 years, is what they want to keep people playing for. I am not going to be playing Destiny single player for 10 years. Like, I don't care if it's a story mode. Like, it's just not, that's not the type of game it is for me. But if they had good multiplayer content and good rewards, I would do it, because look at Last of Us. Last of Us came over a year ago and I still play Last of Us. And there's no rewards in Last of Us. Like, Last of Us, there's no reward for playing matches. You level up constantly as you play your games. And that's it. And the reason I play Last of Us is because it's a team-based game and you feel encouraged to do good. But because there you could get a reward from doing absolutely nothing in Destiny, it doesn't always encourage you to play with the other players. Like, and also I should say this, there is no way to actually do voice chat with people who you randomly get voice match. I mean, no voice match. Randomly put in a party with. Currently on the PS4, that is. I don't know about Xbox One or the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, but anytime you get a random party, let's say for a story mission or whatever it might be, the people automatically have voice chat off, and the only way to get a voice chat with them is basically by adding them to your party, which kind of blows for us currently. Now they have said they're addressing this issue later on, but it's just taking too long. And just one more thing too, stuff like the raids being vault of glass not having matchmaking, I could understand their point saying like, hey, if you had matchmaking, well, people might quit out because you need a lot of organization and working together as a team. But not everybody can find 6 players to play with, man. At most, I could get 4 people. I could get 4 other friends to play this game with me. But I need 5. You really need 5 to do the best. So I'm like, even me, somebody who has a YouTube channel, somebody who get used to Supreme Rai chat, I can't always find 6 people to play with. And I bet there's a lot more gamers not like me who only have 1 or 2 friends they could play with in a constant basic on a Monday, Tuesday, or Friday or Saturday, and they need to get 6 people to do a raid. And if you're not part of a clan or a hardcore set of people who always play Destiny, then you might be missing out on a lot of content. Of not a lot of content, but content like the raid, which is good content. I bet a lot of people would enjoy the raid if they had the opportunity to play with a good set of people, like at least by matchmaking. What do you think about that? Matchmaking should be added, guys.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if matchmaking was added, add some social interaction. Like social interaction in this game would be really well. Like let's say you go to the tower, you see someone with really cool loot, and like you invite them to your fire team. Let what Utsab said. I like how it's really cool. Like if you're far apart, it sounds like you're talking on a radio, or like
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a like giant room, it
Yeah.
sounds like an echo. The thing is, it doesn't always work out for the best, because let's say you don't have the best headphones. Let's say you don't have the best headset in the world, like you can't hear the other person. And also, my Bluetooth headset broke down like a couple of years ago, so um I need like I turn down the volume of the game, and then like I talk on the mic so then I can hear them clearly. They don't have that in Destiny. If you check in your settings, they won't let you turn down the volume.
Oh
And
man,
I
you
think
wait. Can I just stop right there? You just found the biggest problem the YouTubers have with video games. Like YouTubers, when I stream video games and they don't have options to turn down the sound, it bugs the crap out of me. Especially for 3DS games, like even Pokemon. I gotta manually go into my sound settings for my cards and turn down the game. So like that was a little option, and I'm glad you brought it up, because for me and probably other YouTubers, that's something that really bugs us. I know it's not gonna bug out the general population, but I see that you recognize that does actually happen.
yeah, and I just feel like a $500 million game doesn't have sound options. I mean, it's kind of
Hmm.
just like they used a lot of money to hire Peter Dinklage. Like,
Yes, they did.
I
Wait,
mean,
you? It's not only Peter Dinklage. There's other freaking what's it called? There's other actual big names in the game, and all they do is stand in the tower and say 2 to 3 lines, like with no enthusiasm. Oh my God! Does the freaking announcer in the Crucible just sound like the most bored guy at work ever?
Yeah,
He's yeah. Go
he's
ahead. Go
like
ahead.
yeah, he's like 5 more kills ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and
Like
it's
the
like
what the
control.
hell? What the
Like
hell?
control. You're in the lead. Like, dude, like, come on. Like the Unreal, and yeah, you've heard the Unreal announcement. Announcer,
oh
the guy
yeah,
who did, yeah, that's the guy. Is just like
he
triple
just
kill.
screams everything.
Yeah,
And
like, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, like even Call of Duty, like even like whatever team you're fighting for, like let's say you're playing Call of Duty and you're on like the Marines, they actually have the Marine instructor from the story mode, and he actually narrates it, and he's actually sounds like excited, like it sounds like you're actually playing a game.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, guys. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Destiny, I love this. Like right now, I'm playing the story mission with the sword. I love fighting with the sword. Like I understand they can't make this a permanent weapon for multiplayer Crucible, but it would have been nice to go to an area. Actually, let me say this. You know, like how some games, like even Gears of War, every now and then video games will give you an escort mission, like to escort a freaking person to keep them safe, or they'll give you a sequence where you're on a turret on top of like a big ass ship, and you just gotta shoot waves of enemies that are coming at you. And video game players always make fun of that stuff, like, oh my god, here comes the escort mission, here comes the turret mission, but the reason why game developers usually do that is because it changes up what you're doing in the game. Unfortunately, I guess the developers and Activision's just felt like, no, we won't do anything like that. We won't put in any escort missions. We won't put in any like turret type missions. We'll just stick to exactly what we've been doing because it's been working. And unfortunately for them, it doesn't work. If they would have added something, maybe even like a little escort mission, like, hey, well, you found the Guardian. He's injured. Like, let's try to get him back to the tower safely while hordes of freaking enemies are coming at us. And we gotta, like, Let's say, let me just throw this out there. Just tell me if this sounds cool. It does to me.
Okay.
How about this? This requires a fire team of at least two. One fire team member drags, helps up the guardian that's down, tries to, basically hold on to him with one gun, so you only can use like a pistol or a one-handed
Uh,
weapon, and you basically
Okay.
carry that teammate to the exit point, while the other guardian actually tries to protect you both. Like that would change up the gameplay so much, right?
yeah, yeah. It's
Or,
kind
I
of like
mean,
let me
yeah,
just right. It's like that. It's Supreme.
yeah.
It's like that game, like what Biggie said. Yeah, it's kind of like Ghost Recon, right? Like we did one of those missions.
Oh yeah.
yes,
In Ghost Recon Future Soldier, yeah, there like in the first mission, I think
No,
uh
yeah, the second mission.
yeah, second mission, you can play cooperatively with four people, and the thing is, it's like you go and you take a hostage, someone else covers you, and it's kind of like a rail shooter section, like you can't really move, but it still
mm-hmm.
seems really cool because you're working together, you're cooperating, and like hordes of enemies are coming at you, but you're cooperating, and it just feels epic when you're doing it, like
Yeah,
you're actually doing something, and it changes the game a lot. Like the gameplay feels fresh again.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that what you just said right there is exactly what I mean. It's like it's just a little thing. Like it just means it's one escort mission out of what every 10 mission or whatever it might be. But that little change right there will make such a drastic difference to the people playing your game. That's amazing. And like damn, see, this is the problem. I played Destiny, but I can't remember what we did in the last mission. Oh yeah, now I remember. The last mission is where you fight those big statues, right? This is not spoiler
Yeah,
stuff,
the
guys. It's
Black
just fun.
Garden. The
Yeah,
Black Garden.
you fight some big statues. That's not spoiler stuff, guys. So sorry if you think it is, but it's not. But even if that mission, right? Let's say, so we know there's gonna be another Destiny, or there's gonna be more content to Destiny, right? Instead of when that mission ends, what about a ship came down, right? A big ship, an exit ship came down to fire us away. How about some enemies, the Cabal, whatever it might be, come after us in the ship, and for the first time ever, we get to control our ships and actually fire back.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
I
that make
mean,
a big no real quick, wouldn't that make a big impact for the game, and for the fact that it would tell us that, oh, maybe in the next Destiny game we could actually control our ships or even do more content instead of it just being shooting and the same stuff we have been doing. But go ahead.
I mean, honestly, there's no reason to buy ships in the game right now, other
Yeah,
than to look
yeah.
cool in the loading screens. But imagine if like you buy a new ship, it has like a new slot for like a new gun or something, or like
Yeah.
you could do like air combat, or like a new version of the Crucible where it's just all you fight with your spaceship, kind of like Battlefield air superiority,
Superiority.
and it just, yeah, only jets only, like fighting in the air. Or if what Bungie really wants to do
Mm-hmm.
Now this is what I think is gonna be like the best version if they can make this happen. Like how Battlefield has giant maps and they have
Yeah.
giant like scale warfare, like kind of like Planet Side. What if like since you have three races, like human, awoken, and exo, what if you fight for the race that you're playing for and you try to control certain points of like a giant planet and you
Can
fight
I
on
can,
one planet.
can I just stop you real quick? Just because of just going by the lore, I tell you the way that that would work better. Instead of the races being against each other, it would actually be in the fractions. So Destiny loves having the fractions. If you guys haven't bought the
Sure.
game, there's the Dead Orbit, there's the Future War Cult, there's a lot of factions basically, guys, and there's more coming. It would I think what you're saying, Supreme, is 100% right. Only thing I would twist is that you would actually sign up with a fraction and you fight for that fraction. Go ahead.
Yeah, and yeah, it would seem really cool, like giant scale warfare with a bunch of people, like and you could have like air battles, and like on the floor you could fight, and interceptors, the tanks. In the beta they were really OP. In the full game they're not really OP anymore. I don't really like vehicle combat in this game because
No,
people
it's
just
horrible.
spam the
It's horrible.
hell.
It's
Yeah,
like
people just spam the hell out of the bikes.
the bikes, they're fun. I won't lie. I love using the bikes in multiplayer because it's so cheap, and I could
Yeah.
legitimately, as somebody who likes using them, I will admittedly say they are cheap. But the reason why they are so cheap is because there's nothing else to destroy the bikes. So two bikes against each other, it's just stupid because all you're basically doing is just driving around each other and hoping to hit each other. But if there was another vehicle that was not as fast as the bike, but maybe had a lock on that could destroy the bike a little faster, then you'd
Hmm.
be better off. But the big tank that they do have in the game right now, which is a vehicle, that thing can't live up to the bike. Because the bike could just spin around it all day long shooting it. That vehicle can't keep up with it. And it's a tank, and it just can't do it. But before we continue, all right, right now, guys, if you're watching the stream, or if you're on YouTube, right now, I just finished the Daily Heroic Story mission. I played it on the easiest difficulty. I got a reward. It's basically an Instagram. So this Instagram gives you a random class legendary item, upgrade material, or a rare item. So one thing, I just spent probably a good 20 minutes doing that mission, as you guys saw. I probably spent a little longer because I was just messing around, but I'm about to go back to the tower, decrypt this item, and I can't guarantee that I'm gonna get legendary. I can't guarantee that I'm gonna get gear, and I can't guarantee that I'm gonna get actually something useful for my class. Now, if I get gear, right? Let's say if I get a legendary arm, or a legendary gauntlet, right? Like let's say like not gauntlet, sorry about that. Legendary helmet or legendary chest piece. I can't guarantee that stuff would actually be for my class. So that's another problem with the game. When you actually decrypt um, items you pick up in the game, you might not get the thing for your own class. I've gotten exotic items that don't even work for my own class. Talk about pissing me off. What do you think about that, Supreme?
Okay, so I've felt this before. I have three legendary items,
Mm-hmm.
four different classes. I have two items for my Titan, and I have one item for my Hunter that's legendary. And
Yeah.
it really kind of pisses me off because let's say I'm playing with my friend, and I think just yesterday with I think with the agent where you could use strange coins, he bought a exotic engram, and with the
Yeah.
engram, once he bought it, he decrypted it. It was a legendary chest plate for a warlock, and he's playing as a titan. So
Mm.
there's honestly nothing he can do now because you can't trade in the game, and that means he's gonna have to make a whole new character, go all the way to level 20, and then as soon as he reaches level 20, then he can equip the exotic, which getting to level 20 isn't really an easy task though. So you honestly can't assure that, it's gonna take a long time just for one piece of an exotic armor
All right. So
that you can't even use.
great. All right, so here we go, guys. I'm in the game right now, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what happens. So after you complete a daily story or a specific event, you come to this postmaster. The postmaster sometimes he gives you a legendary intergram or a daily reward. So like right now, I got an upgrade material, right? That upgrade material right there is Ascend Energy. Now, it would be nice if the game kind of knew that I don't really want freaking Ascend Energy. I need Ascend Shards. That's what I currently need. I have 16 Ascend Energy. But because, once again, guys, this stuff is random, we just don't know. So we can't, it's very hard to guarantee how we level up our armor, how we level up our guns, and that's something we haven't even talked about yet, which I'm going to get to right quick. But real quick, let's go to the decryptor, right, guys? So let's find out what I got right here, guys. It could be anything. Let's see. I got myself a gauntlet. Now, this gauntlet, we're going to check it out compared to what I already have. And this next one, we got ourselves a freaking, oh my god, they gave me a class mark. Now, the class marks are the worst things I think are in Destiny, personally. These things are purely cosmetic, and there are legendary and there are freaking rare versions of these things. So, what does this mean, guys? When you find equipment in the game, it could be a gun, it could be armor that helps you battle, or it could be a purely decorative piece of equipment that does nothing for you except for brag to everybody else that you're shooting with a gun in the crucible, like, oh, look how cool my stuff looks. Now, guys, I am the gamer. You can call me here. I'm the gamer in MMOs. I'm the gamer in other video games. I ain't playing dress up. Dressing up my character is not my thing. I don't care. Unless it's The Sims, I don't care. So what I think should have happened with the class marks is what they should have did. This stuff should have been bought with Glimmer. Glimmer is the currency in the game. If you were able to buy this stuff with Glimmer, then it wouldn't actually take up a slot for buying it, I'm not for finding it in the game through random items. I don't care about finding a legendary mark. I just want to go to the shop in the tower. Hey, this one looks really cool. Oh man, this is a legendary one. It costs us 20,000 glimmer. Well, I better go do some single player content or play some multiplayer content to save up to buy this mark. And that would give us a reason to play the single player missions over and over to get the money to buy this stuff. But currently, nobody could disagree with me in this. There is no reason to have money in this game unless you go right over here to the guy that sells ammo and you buy these damn ammo synthesis to use in the single player. Once you pass level 25, I can't see a reason to have money in this game. There's nothing. There is, like, oh, okay, well, I can't say nothing. You need it to upgrade, but when are you ever out of money? I haven't been ever out of money. I'm just saying. Alright, sorry about the little rant, but...
No, I feel you. Honestly, when I get so Warlock, so I mean for the Titan and for the Hunter, you guys have marks. So every class has a different thing. Titan have marks, Warlocks have like capes. The thing is, the Warlock has something on his arm that you can't even see, and it's kind of just like, well, for the Titan, there's like a little
hmm
sash around like his belt, which looks really cool. But for a Warlock, it's literally something on your arm, like an arm brace. It's just
hmm
an arm brace. Doesn't really make you look cool. It's just an arm brace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and real
But
quick, yes, guys, you can add me. Sure, just send me a friend request in chat, guys. It's Big Beaky, Big Beaky. Sure, add me, guys. Feel free to add me.
um,
I have no problem adding people. All right, go ahead. Well, let me.
yeah.
Sorry. So to preface the conversation, let's focus on something we haven't talked about yet. What do you guys think about the upgrading of the guns? I want you to go ahead first, bro, because you're just level 10. You haven't had to
Yeah.
experience it too much. What do you think about that system,
The
in the
up
game?
yeah, the upgrade, yeah, it's pretty good. Because
Mm.
it can help you out in combat. Like maybe if you upgrade, you want to get more accuracy. You have enough points to do so. You can upgrade your accuracy or get like different type of bullets. Uh, Upgrades can work with different type of ways, which can be better, good or bad.
All right.
Definitely, most of all, I like to go, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you, Supreme. Sorry.
Supreme?
Yeah, okay. So, honestly, the upgrading, I think,
Mm-hmm.
could have been a little bit better. It could have been a little
Okay.
bit like, so,
What would you change? Go ahead.
okay, so I use one weapon. It's a Shingen E. I think you've heard of it, the Shingen E. It's basically a, it's basically an, like a rare auto rifle that I always use all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, I don't see any other reason to get rid of it because the upgrades don't really matter for me because I play PvP. Upgrades for your gun don't really matter in PvP. Like you could change the type of bullet so that they can bounce off walls. The thing is, you won't really be doing that unless you want to do some crazy like
Like,
trick shots or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The one in a million shot, basically.
yeah.
yeah, and I mean some of the upgrades are pretty cool. Like the bottom half of your like your magazine does more damage, but I
Can
mean
I
you
pause
don't
you right
really.
there? Can I pause you right there?
Okay,
Right. So,
okay.
what you just said right there emphasized a problem with Destiny that I think Bungie didn't realize. So right now in the multiplayer, they say that there's no level advantage in the regular Crucible, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
But with what you just said right there, the bottom half of your magazine does more damage. Or if you have a shotgun, a legendary shotgun, which is one that does this, the last round in your shot does more damage. So I will tell you the 100% way I cheated with this, guys. I cheated with this so much. My weapon that you guys will see on YouTube right now, my shotgun, is not the shotgun I'm currently using. The shotgun I'm using is a regular legendary shotgun. It doesn't have this skill. But what my other shotgun did is the last round in the shell. Whoa, that's mad loud noise right there.
Sorry, I'm eating
Oh,
chips.
okay, yeah, all right. Just give like we're about to be done in like 10 minutes. I'll just make the video like 10 minutes more. So give us 10 minutes and you can eat all the chips you like.
Come on,
But
let's mute your mic then. Mute your mic.
All right,
yeah, mute your mic.
yeah,
Yeah, just mute your mic for a second.
I'll only mute it when I'm finished, right?
Yep, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Eat your food, man. It's been pretty long.
All right.
All right.
It's
All
pretty long
right.
video, but hey, Supreme, you wanted to do this, and I like talking about Destiny because I want to play more of the game. I want it to be better. But let's get to what I was trying to say for the Crucible now. The last round in your shell does a lot of damage, right? I mean, in your freaking magazine does a lot of damage. So what I would do is guaranteed I shoot off bullets until I have one shot left. So what I would do in control is I have one bullet, run into the control area, fire from a farther distance because the range in the shotguns were actually pretty good in this game for some odd reason. Instant kill. Weapons reload, shoot off 2 more shots, fire again. And because you could easily get special ammo because the special ammos in the maps are spaced out not that far apart. I know where every special ammo is, so I got that advantage. And the reason why that's a big advantage for me is because all I need to know is make sure I have one bullet, reload, and for me it's fine because I know if I that one bullet in and switch it, kill him, I am a titan. I got plenty of melee strength. If I'm already in your face, one punch finishes you off. And that's all I would do. And then if I was about to die, I put up my bubble shield. And my bubble shield goes up, and now my shield is instant. That's an advantage I wouldn't have gotten if I wasn't a higher level. Somebody who's level 10 like you couldn't do that because he can't get a shotgun with that ability because you can't get shotguns with special effects until you're after level 20. So anybody who's level 20 and below playing the Crucible is literally at such a big level disadvantage that is insane. They may not know it, even because it says it isn't. There is a difference because our gun is different and because we get to upgrade our guns. Now, it does the damage wise. That's what you were saying, Supreme. Allow upgrade. You can't upgrade your damage. That's what Iron Banner was supposed to do, but I heard people said that the Iron Banner really didn't do it. So that's a whole nother situation. I didn't really look up into
Yeah.
that.
The Iron Banner. I remember the first match playing the Iron Banner. I was level 24. I came up against his level 6, and I thought, well, I'm gonna destroy this guy. He killed me
Mm-hmm.
in one shot with his shotgun.
Yeah,
And a level 6 killed me with his like level 5 shotgun, and it's like,
it
I
hurts.
mean,
You might as well
yeah,
say it like
it
that.
hurts. Yeah, you just feel like, well, a level 6 just killed me. I mean, I
And
can't really do
no,
anything else.
here's what the biggest problem with that. Level 6 kills you. You've just put in a good 30 hours into the game. What the hell did I put in all that hours into the game if my armor is not doing what it's supposed to do, right?
Yeah, and it's like, even in PVE, like even in single player, that's the same thing. I spent like 50 hours getting this armor, but one shot from this knight kills me. What did I even get this armor for then?
All right, another way to put it, look at it like this. All right, you spent all these hours getting this armor, leveling this armor up, searching on the moon for helium, spin metal, whatever it might be you need. Because right now, right this second, Supreme, I am on the moon, and the reason why I'm looking around, guys, is because I'm looking for helium, which is I need to upgrade my gun. So I'll explain it real quick before we go on. So here is my shotgun. My shotgun is beastie. I love the shotgun in multiplayer. I need spin metal to upgrade it. Here is my assault rifle. I need relic iron to upgrade it. Here is my rocket launcher. This one needed helium to upgrade it. So that's why I'm on the moon right now for the helium. If I don't get the stuff, I can't upgrade it, right? But let's say this, I upgrade this rocket launcher all the way, right, guys? It's an awesome rocket launcher. I love this rocket launcher. But next time I play, I instantly kill somebody, and I get a freaking another rocket launcher. Oh, this rocket launcher is better. Now I just spent all my time upgrading this rocket launcher, and when I sell this rocket launcher, dismantle it is called, I don't get back even half the stuff I put into it. I get some weapon parts. and maybe one ascent shard. So that's the problem, guys. Because you find new equipment, and once you eventually do find that equipment, and you upgrade from the older equipment, you will realize that you just wasted so much time investing in upgrading this equipment to just replace it with something else. Because the only people who feel satisfied with their equipment is probably the people at level 30, because they probably got the equipment they're okay with, and if they change it, they're gonna feel upset because they're gonna have to do the grind again. And before I let you talk again, Supreme, I'm gonna explain people what is really wrong with that Destiny and why people have issues with this game. Here it is, guys. If you're level 30 in Destiny and you put a lot of game, you have all your equipment upgraded, you have nice armor. The odds are the way you did this was by making 3 characters that are exactly the same characters. What they do is this is what people do. They level up the characters level 20, and then they put the items, aka your armor, into the vault. There's a vault in the game. Once you have that items in the vault, you can give it to the other character, which is the same class. So you have 3 Titans. Give those characters those armor. That character now comes instantly level 30. So because the armor makes you the level, you can trade armor between your first character, your second character, your third character, make yourself instantly level 30, go do the daily raids, go do the daily strikes over and over to get the upgraded materials like Ascend Shards, Ascend Energy, Strange Coins 3 times a day to level yourself up to 30 to get the stuff to upgrade all your equipment. And that's what people have to do. The hardcores of Destiny players have to do this to literally get their characters to level 30 and actually have all their stuff upgraded and be level 30 to survive in the Volta Glass or the daily heroic strikes. And that is a big problem. The game does not encourage you to make a warlock, a hunter, and a freaking titan. It doesn't encourage you to do that. It encourages players to make 3 of the same characters and experience the game that way. That is why so many few people have the platinum in Destiny. And that's what I say. Go ahead, Supreme.
Okay.
Yeah, I have.
Honestly, yeah, that summed up a lot of my points. Uh, I I think we kind of went through everything. The
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, wait, well, how about I'll go
Before
ahead and
before.
I have one thing to end it out with.
Okay. Oh. Okay. So, I mean, I think Destiny's having a identity crisis. It's trying to be an MMO,
Mm-hmm.
trying to be Borderlands, trying to be a shooter at the same time. The shooter element really fun. MMO element, raids. I understand the adding of raids, daily heroics, and I understand some of the things that it does because some games like World of Warcraft and other games like that, they do the same thing, but their raids and their missions actually have a lot of variety.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's say you're doing one raid. I think that's what the Vault of Glass tried to do. It tried to give you like a challenge while also needing extreme like precision and strategy. But I
Mm-hmm.
think they kind of should have made it a little bit easier because that was the first ever raid. In World of Warcraft, you could go into raids with 40, even 50 people if you have a really good clan, and you could just blow through the entire raid. And then in Destiny, it's kind of a whole different thing where you have to get 6 people, you have to get coordinated, and you have to do everything correctly. Because if you don't, you get wiped. Everyone dies, and by the end of it, you get really overpowered weapons, which I mean, you should get because you spent all that time coordinating and doing things. The thing is, Destiny has been nerfing all these weapons. Like,
Oh, I was not even
with
gonna bring that up, but my God, have they nerfed weapons
yeah,
I've used? If
like
like if the core shooting was not still there, man, I would just throw this game in the garbage if I could take it off my hard drive.
dude, I swear to God, they nerfed down auto rifles by they nerfed the damage and the stability of auto rifles. There's been no problem with auto rifles. There's been problem with one of the rarest weapons in the game, the Vex Mythocloss, which you can only get from doing the Vault of Glass on hard. They
Is that
nerfed
the
that weapon.
is that the fusion rifle, or am I thinking the wrong thing?
Yeah, it's a fusion rifle. It's a primary. It's a
Yes,
fusion
yes,
rifle that shoots full auto. It shoots
yes.
fully auto fusion rifle shots. So I mean, they haven't I think they might have nerfed that, but they
No,
haven't nerfed it as much.
they haven't nerfed it all the way, but I did say that they're gonna do something to it. I definitely did see that recently. And the auto rifles thing to nerfing the auto rifles, like the range. The first thing they did with auto rifles, the first patch, if I remember correctly, is that they actually made it so that it's not as effective from farther ranges. Which, of course, if you're trying to use a auto rifle like a sniper rifle, it shouldn't work. But this is a futuristic game. In the military, there is auto rifles that could fire from pretty freaking far away. So right there, I think that auto rifles should be a mid-range to a long range, a close-range weapon. So I think that's perfectly fine. The scout rifles, yes, the scout rifles are weak. Instead of weakening the freaking auto rifles to match the scout rifle, just make the scout rifles better. Pulse rifles, I'm not sure if everybody agrees with me, but I think pulse rifles are so. I think pulse rifles are the most variety type weapons in the game. The pulse rifles are not all the same. I think they have a lot of different possibilities when you pick up each pulse rifle. So I think pulse rifles are fine. I don't think I have any problems at all with pulse rifles currently. How about you?
Um, yeah. One of the main things is hand cannons.
Mm.
No one uses hand cannons. Only some people use them in the Crucible.
But
The thing is, I
they're
think,
exotic and legendary. That's the
yeah,
prefaces right there. Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to do the exotic hand cannon quest right now, the bounty, and the thing is, there is no use for hand cannons. And so hold on, I'm gonna bring up something a lot of people have been saying on the forums.
Yeah.
Uh, when they showed Destiny at E3, they showed a bunch of stuff that was false advertising, including
Oh God.
something which I think they ripped it out of the game, and I think they're gonna put it back at a later date, which is still wrong. But I mean, they said that hand cannons were going to be a secondary, like a special weapon. That makes a lot more sense than having a hand cannon at the primary. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
I
Mm.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know
in
that. That's interesting. That makes more sense then.
yeah, in the gameplay it showed while in the first ever mission they were heading into old Russia. They showed like their ship dropping them off at different points. Like when you start playing Destiny and you pick a mission, you start at the same point every single time. In the E3 demo, it drops you off at different locations and it drops your fire team member at different locations. And
So, oh, go ahead, continue. Mm.
yeah. Oh, and in the video it shows him switching to his hand cannon, and in the video this is the most like part that I thought was absurd was do you know in the Reef the queen and her brother.
Yes.
Yeah. The brother's name was originally Crow. His name was Crow, and
Mm.
he was supposed to be this guy that you met out there in old Russia that replaced the stranger. The stranger who gives you the stranger's rifle at the end of the game. He was supposed to replace her, and he was basically supposed to lead you on this whole other quest line where you could join a whole different faction instead of the tower, and you try to basically overthrow the tower and try
Oh
to
my
overthrow the
God, does
queen.
that sound
Yeah.
interesting?
Yeah.
So
And
you're saying that
um,
there might have been different starting areas, different fractions you might have been able to play with, and this content might have been removed as DLC content or some type of content for future games?
yeah, and in the trailer it shows Crow, the brother, pointing a gun at you and saying, "This is how we talk in the wild," and that's where people thought that he was going to be a bigger part of the game instead of just saying three lines and meeting him in a cutscene.
Yeah.
He
Now,
doesn't even have a yeah he doesn't
mhm.
even have a name. He doesn't even have a name. Bungie didn't give him a name until people found out that his name was supposed to be Crow. So
Now, here's what I'm gonna end it off with. Not end it off with, but I'm just the last thing I want to say. We're gonna talk about is what we want to see from the future. But I just want to say this, guys. If you guys have been watching this video to this point, I just want to point a few things out for you guys. Just about me personally. It's just me doing this video. I didn't plan to do this video, but I like that I did do this video. One thing, I said Destiny was gonna have problems from the beta. Like before this game came out, I told my friends, don't be hyped for this yet. Because I don't think everybody remembers this, but before the beta, people did not know too much about Destiny. They did not release too much gameplay. They released screenshots. They were talking about the game, but they didn't show many gameplay demos with actual like IGN or many different places. So because of that, We did not realize like, oh, you just go into a mission, and between each missions, instead of going to the next mission, you have to fly back to orbit, come back to the moon, and then go from the same exact place you already was to the next mission. Which I still just don't understand. Why the fuck are the freaking loading times? Sorry about the cursing. Why are the loading times so long? Like, just to see the ship? But anyways, back to the point. I felt like there was gonna be problems with Destiny. I tried to tell my friends, dude, you don't need to buy me a copy of this game. But my friend wanted me to get a copy of the game, and I thank him for that. And I played it with him. But just this, leave this as a warning to you. When it comes to Activision, when it comes to Ubisoft, when it comes to EA, yes, be hyped, be excited about games, but make sure you're able to see what the game really is before the game is actually released, so you understand what you're gonna be buying. Don't make the mistake that I did last year with SimCity. I got fooled with SimCity. I got fooled. I will admit that. And people have gotten fooled with Destiny this year. And don't feel like you're a Destiny fan that absolutely loves doing the raids over and over. It should not be acceptable that you do a few things in this game. One, the load times are not acceptable at all. Do not justify that to Bungie. Those are not acceptable things. Two, it is not acceptable that you are the MVP of a Crucible match and you get nothing. That is unacceptable. You played hard, you won the match, you should be rewarded something. That should not ever happen. It is not acceptable that the game makes it so damn difficult to get upgrade equipment. It is not acceptable that I must go to Mars, must go to Moon, and hunt down these little stupid helium things that respawn every few so minutes. Why the freak is there money in the game if you can't just buy these equipment, or if you can't get them instantly as rewards from every single thing you do? And those are the three things I think that are so unacceptable in this game that makes Destiny not a game that could have been an 8. But for me, Destiny justifies the 6. I thought it was an IGN. IGN or GameSpot. One of them gave them a 6, and I think 6 is such a good score for Destiny. It is not a horrible game. It's not a bad game. It's a game with such good potential, such good shooting mechanics, such good graphics, but the story is such lackluster. The freaking upgrade system can need so much work, and the loading times are so abysmal that it's not acceptable for players to be playing games like this in 2014. Destiny, Bungie, fix your shit and let's get a better game out there. And for the future, all I gotta say, guys, increase your looting system, make a better story, and fix those problems that I've mentioned. You guys, I'll leave it out to you guys to end the video out, guys. What do you guys want to see from Destiny going forward in the future, guys?
Alright.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to see a better loot system, more
Mhm.
maps, different game modes. I want to see more social interaction, like how you could trade. I want to see, yeah, I just want to see more of you interacting with other people, interacting on giant war zones, and having just a fun time overall. Like, I don't really care about the story, just have a fun time playing the game because it's a fun game. I just want to have fun while playing it with other people.
Yep. You before you go, only thing I would say else is um, public events. Adding more of those would go a long way too. Go ahead, man.
Uh, wait. Wait, for what? I want.
What do you? I mean, I understand. All I'm trying to say is, yeah, I know we've been talking a lot. All I want to say is, you've played up to level 10, but
Yeah.
I'm sure you realize there's some problems in the game, and you've heard what your friend has said. What do you want to see going forward for Destiny to make it a better game for you personally?
More for this meal, I mean, probably like maybe like a different type of system for the crucible victory and losing kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
More fire teams, of course, with more capacity. Probably maybe more difficulty because probably it's so easy right now. So maybe more difficulty. Maybe we need like probably like like maybe in like a new campaign system, like something that will actually make the player thinks like what's gonna happen next. That actually gets something much more rewarding than before.
Hey, man, I agree with you everything you said right there, bro. The Crucible does need some work. It's a good mode, but it definitely needs work. So, with that, guys, I want to thank you very much, Supreme, for joining me today, and
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
It was a great idea to do this. We got to do this more for other games. Actually, I think it's a cool idea. So I'll see
yeah.
any other game people are passionate about. Maybe
All right.
at some point we'll probably even maybe for the Poke Fanatic community members who are still in chat. Maybe we even do this for Pokemon. The new remakes when they come out. Let's see what we opinions of the games after a few months of playing that. But I'm gonna leave it out with this. Where the hell are Destiny's music settings, sound settings, and
Yeah.
and everybody in the chat hashtag Destiny the struggle. Till next time, guys. Peace out.